Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Today's video is going to be about cheaper alternatives to more expensive and famous designer and niche fragrances. Now, I'm going to say that again, cheaper alternatives. So this video won't be about straight up clones. The 7 fragrances that I'm going to show you today either share some similarities scent-wise to their more famous and expensive cousins, or can work in the same occasions. Now, I'm going to start this list off with a fragrance from the house of Lattafa at number 1, and that's going to be the Lattafa Riot Silver. Now, this is a fragrance that's quite similar to a few, designer and niche fragrances. It's quite similar to something like Pure Excess Night from Paco Rabanne, also something like Mancera's Cedroc Boisé. What you get with this fragrance, it's a nice fruity opening. There's quite a strong pineapple note in the opening of this one, with mixed with some orange as well, some spices. Then on the dry down, this starts to become like sweeter. You get some vanillic sweetness, some amber sweetness, some cinnamon, and also a touch of oud here in as well. The second fragrance in today's video is going to be again from the house of Lattafa, and in fact the first 3 fragrances that I'm going to show you today will be from the house of Lattafa. This one is called the Ansaam Silver and is part of the Lattafa Pride line. Now this is a fragrance that's quite a good alternative to Azzaro's The Most Wanted. It comes in an interesting packaging like with all other Lattafa Pride line fragrances. With this one, you get quite a lot of bergamot and cardamom in the opening. You get so you get a sort of a slightly spicy, fresh opening. Then on the dry down, you get things like Davana, lavender, also vanilla, amber, and patchouli. It's not a one-to-one clone, and none of these fragrances that I'm going to show you today are one-to-one clones of anything, but will get you sort of a quite close to Azzaro's The Most Wanted. And at number 3 and the third Lattafa fragrance in this video is going to be the Lattafa Khamrah, a hyped up beast of a fragrance. This fragrance has gotten a lot of attention in the fragrance community over the past almost year or so. A lot of people were pushing this fragrance when it was first released as a clone of the Angel's Share by Kilian. I've always said that this is not a straight up clone of Angel Share, although it's in the same style of perfumery. With this fragrance, of course, you get a super dense, super sweet fragrance. You've got vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, some spices, some benzoin, and a touch of a boozy note in here. Again, this is not a straight up clone of Angel Share, but can serve pretty much the same purpose as Angel Share. Great fragrance for nighttime usage and cold weather nighttime usage. Super good performance, almost beast mode performing fragrance. So very strong projection. So, I'm done with the Lattafa fragrances, but the fourth fragrance that I'm going to show will be another Middle Eastern fragrance, the last one for this video. This one from the house of Homme and their Club de Nuit Urban Man Elixir. Now this is another fragrance that got quite a lot of hype at the end of last year when it was first released, and the first few months of this year, and for a good reason. A fantastic offering from the house of Homme, super versatile fragrance that can be a great alternative to something like Dior Sauvage EDT and Dior Sauvage EDP with a slight twist. Now to my nose, this leans a little bit more over to the Dior Sauvage EDP side, but people who like, it doesn't matter if you like the EDT or the EDP of the Sauvage line, this can serve as a great alternative, as I said. But there's also a slight twist to this one that Homme have added, and that's that they've put a touch of pineapple note in here, like from the Club de Nuit Intense Men line. So this is a super versatile fragrance that can work any time of the year for any type of occasion. Very good performance, very good projection, super high compliment factor. As I said, super versatile fragrance that can be found for a reasonable price at this point after the hype has died down. So as I said, a great alternative to the Dior Sauvage line, the Club de Nuit Urban Man Elixir. At number 5 in this video is going to be a car fragrance, a car brand fragrance from the house of Mercedes-Benz, the Select Night. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, this is a tester bottle and it came without a cap, so the bottle looks kind of funky, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter because the juice inside here is very, very nice. Now, this fragrance can be related to a few designer and niche fragrances, but most noticeably to something like Tom Ford Noir Extreme, and also you can pick up some vibes from YSL La Nuit de l'Homme. The main players in this fragrance are the lavender, bergamot, cardamom opening. Then you get some sweetness from a vanilla, some sandalwood, some cedar. As I said, quite similar to Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Can serve pretty much the same purpose as Tom Ford Noir Extreme. A great nighttime fragrance, a great date night fragrance. Performance here is above average, not super strong, but still above average. Projection, moderate projection for an hour and a half. Price tag, this one can usually be found for a really nice price, especially if you look at discounters. At number 6 is going to be a fragrance that's a great alternative to La Nuit de l'Homme from YSL, and the fragrance in question is called the Halloween Man Shot. I absolutely love this fragrance. You get a lot of similarities between this and YSL La Nuit de l'Homme. In here you have a nice cardamom note that's very reminiscent to La Nuit de l'Homme. You get a very interesting daiquiri note, so a slight booziness in the opening of this fragrance. There's some spiciness from a black pepper note. On the dry down you get some iris, some vanilla, some leather. All in all, it's not super close scent-wise to La Nuit de l'Homme, but serves pretty much the same purpose, and especially the way that the cardamom has been done in here, it's very reminiscent to La Nuit de l'Homme. And at number 7, the last fragrance for today, the Missoni Pour Homme Parfum. This is a great alternative to something like Bleu de Chanel EDT or Bleu de Chanel EDP. It's quite similar, especially in the opening. You get that nice citrusy, grapefruity opening like you get with, especially with Bleu de Chanel EDP. That's where the Missoni is closest to Bleu de Chanel. On the dry down, it starts to differ a little bit compared to Bleu de Chanel, whereas on the one hand, Bleu de Chanel becomes, creamier and a little bit more woody. The Missoni starts to become a little bit, to get a little bit like a soapy vibe out from this fragrance. It becomes a little bit more barbershoppy because of that lavender note that's in here. But all in all, it's a great alternative and serves pretty much the same purpose as either Bleu de Chanel EDP or Bleu de Chanel EDT. The performance of the Missoni fragrance, it's compatible with that from the what you get from Bleu de Chanel EDP. So it's not a super strong performing fragrance. It's all the performance here is more on the moderate side, like the projection as well. So guys, in today's video I showed you 7 cheap alternatives to famous designer and niche fragrances. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future content. Stay safe, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.